remind you that Stephen Curry was on one tonight. A dozen threes and 52 points in a big game where they overtake the Grizzlies. That's over Zach Edey, who's an enormous human being. Curry, 12 of 20. Ja had a big night, but you're not catching the Warriors on a night when Steph goes for 52. And he joins us right now. Stephen and Scott, thank you for taking a minute to visit with me. Your coach was raving about how at 37 you still got it, but he also said maybe the key is a couple of rounds of golf on this most recent roadie. Where did you play, my man?
Oh, that's great. One place that I can't tout for good reason. I'm sure you know where that is. And
I
then
can guess.
also a little spot in San Antonio. So yeah, it's nice to get out and get some vitamin D and get the club in your hand, but
There
it
you go.
usually
How's the
it
swing?
fills the cup up, as they say.
How's the swing? Are we good? I mean, I always wonder, like, how do you balance, like, in season? Because you kind of have a job, a night job, which makes it hard to be any good at golf maybe right now.
I picked the right sport to do for a living. Let's just keep it that
Understood.
way, for sure.
Understood. We had LeBron on recently, and I mean, you're not 40, but at 37, your coach raving about just how you still have it, and clearly, like, a night like tonight is remarkable. I'm just curious, Stephen, do you feel stuff now, post-game or day after, that you didn't before? I mean, we all get older, but it appears that time's kind of not touching you.
No, I try to make it look good on the court, but it does require a lot more off the court, maintenance-wise and recovery days and the mental approach. But when you're out there and, everything kind of aligns, there's certain parts of the season, thankfully right now, where I feel good physically and can, play my usual game, take on the intensity that defenses are giving me and still feel like I can get to my spots. Might need, a little bit more extra ice on post game the day after, but all that really means is just you got to really want it, and I love the work that I got to put into it.
We heard a little of the post-game sound afterwards about kind of hunting that Clay record for threes within the construct of a game that matters. But, I mean, look, you're making shots that matter that you needed because this Grizzlies team was hanging around and made it close there in the third, actually took the lead. So how is that figured out, right? Like, I'm on one and I could hang a big number, but I'm not chasing it if it's going to cost our team. Like, you've got to find that sweet spot, right?
Yeah, it's a balance. I'd be lying if I didn't think about it going into the fourth. I knew I had 11, and first two possessions when I got back in were heat checks coming off the bench. Imagine that. And then after that, you kind of come into reality of, to your point, the situation, time and score, understanding we need to win this game. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna get good looks and I can draw attention, create good shots. I hit one more off of that one right you just showed, the swing off of a relocation. And then Jimmy, Draymond, BP, Moses, who were the closing lineup, everybody made plays. And so you kind of lean into that. It's going to be hard to get that 14 because, Clay's had the record for a long time, but we'll see.
Earlier in the show, we showed the Podziemski tip-in and the Moody three, all of which were big in a game you won. And, on our show, you get what it is, right? We show the graphic, and you pass the Grizzlies for fifth. Is that anything – let me frame it different. How much energy do you all even pay to where you're at in terms of who you'll be looking at? Because you've been through this so often. I just don't know if that's something you even pay any attention to.
It's the through line from like pre-trade deadline to now, where we were 11th, I think, and now, in fifth. So that climb, we've been trying to embrace the challenge of climbing the standings, but also just focusing on playing good basketball, playing consistent basketball. But right now, it's just about trying to stay out of the play-in. I think that's the biggest thing for us the last 2 years. Haven't gone our way in that respect.
Sure.
And so for us to try to, have that week off, give whoever you're playing, just guarantee a spot in the playoffs and then be able to figure it out from there. That's the goal. However high we can rise is hopefully going to be a byproduct of that.
Speaking of the trade deadline, you are 18-2 when you and Jimmy play together, and we're always interested in how does it go together? What does it look like? And you don't have to squint too hard to see what this looks like, and it looks real good, and we know what he's been postseason-wise. What's the process like for you all? Kind of like what it is with Luke in LA, right? Figuring out how's it go together? How does it go together? Like, what have you found with him that clearly works as we look ahead towards the playoffs here in a couple weeks?
I think it's two things. Well, his IQ first and foremost. He's a gamer. He's a competitor. He's a dog. He's won at the highest level. And I think the idea of we don't occupy the same spots on the court. We have such drastically different styles that when I draw a double team, he's able to take advantage of on the backside, always making the right play. And then I think the biggest thing is he's just elevated everybody else and made the game easier. Like I create a lot of chaos and can create shots, but when I'm off the floor, he's doing that for whoever the combination of guys that are out there on the floor. So he's raised the level of everybody around him, including me. And the fact that we have such different styles, I think it works at different parts of the game to keep the defense guessing. And then he made a huge play defensively tonight, steal on Ja. It's just him being in the right place, right time, understanding the game and making plays. And that's what he does.
Years ago, Tiger won the U.S. Open, and I had a pizza waiting for him, and we ate it while the media waited, and everyone was pissed off. So I know the media is waiting, so I'm going to stop wearing you out and say thanks for the time. What a night you had. Tell that coach of yours I said hey, and I look forward to crossing paths down the road, all right?
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
Fun moment for our guy Marco, who roots for the Warriors. Warriors a half game behind Grizzlies for the 5 seed in the West, entering this one. Steph Curry, Zach Edey. Steph saying, give me some space, I can pull, and bottom. And Curry's just getting started. Off the screen, Cash Money. Curry had 19, 5 of 6 from 3, his most points in the first quarter in 5 seasons, and the Warriors had lead. High scoring affair here off the rip. Draymond, the give to Jimmy Butler. Steph corner, give me all 3 of these. Curry again, the M and 4. 8 made threes in the first half on 10 attempts, most in a half in his career. Warriors lead by 8. Grizzlies though hanging around, and now trying to tie it up. John Morant, head fake, gets Curry in the air, bucket good, 3 the hard way, we're tied. Morant uses the Edey screen, hits the 3 that ties it again. He had 36, that's a big night, but this night belongs to Steph. In transition, come on. 45 points, 11 threes through 3 quarters. Warriors though now trail by 1, halfway through the 4th. Steph down lane with a scoop, Warriors back in front. Santi Aldama, he is a shooter himself. Grizzlies back in front. 3 to go. Warriors down a bucket. Curry. Draymond finds him. Good Butler screen. And it's a big bucket as it pushes him to 50 and a dozen threes. More importantly, they lead. Curry. No, but there's the tip from Brandon Pajeski. Warriors leading by 5. Another 3. This one from Moses Moody. Curry goes for 52. A dozen threes. He's going to join the show later. Here he is on whether he's hunting Clay's record of threes.
That was the first 2 threes of the fourth quarter. I definitely was thinking about Clay in Chicago. This is as close as I've been with the amount of time left. Then after that, reality check. We got to win the game, so you don't want to sabotage anything.
The guy's 37 years old. It's incredible. 52 points with people draped all over him all game long. The conditioning, the skill, the audacity, the belief. It's just incredible to watch Steph at work. I mean, I can't believe he's still doing this at this age, but he's put the work in and he's still got it.
Steph records his 15th career 50-point game, tying Dame Lillard for the 6th most in NBA history. 10 of those have come since he turned 30. 3 more than any other player in NBA history, with Wilt Chamberlain. Yep, he's on every list, ranking 2nd on that list with 7. And again, Steph's going to join the program. Look forward to visiting with him all.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn tô tượng. Tượng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là bếp nướng. Các bạn, hôm nay tượng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là bếp củi. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm tô nhé.